You'd think running a sprawling ranch would mean my biggest battles were with drought or wolves eyeing my livestock. But no, my war was with a pair of golf cart riding, self-styled enforcers from a shiny new HOA that sprouted like poison ivy on my southern fence line. These wannabe cops, backed by their pompous president, thought they could claim my land as their personal lookout post. Enter my grandfather, Ezekiel, a man with a twinkle in his eye and a knack for what he called his suburban repellent system, a masterclass in muddy chaos that left the HOA humiliated and my ranch victorious. This is a tale of trespass, arrogance, and a perfectly legal trap that sparked a firestorm of controversy. My ranch, Thorn Hollow, spans over 1,000 acres of rolling pastures, timber, and a creek that carves through its heart. It's been in my family for generations, a legacy forged by my great-grandfather, passed to Ezekiel, my father, and now me, Caleb Thorne. It's not just land, it's who we are. For decades, we lived in harmony with neighboring farms and a quiet village nearby. Then came Crestview Meadows, a cookie-cutter subdivision of beige houses that devoured the old Larson farm next to our southern boundary. With it arrived an HOA that seemed to believe their rule extended to my front door. Trouble started small. A golf cart, decked out with a Crestview security sticker, parked just inside our property under a massive oak tree. Our fence, there was simple 3 strands of barbed wire, more a suggestion than a fortress. I figured the new neighbors didn't know the line. I waved at the 2 men inside, dressed in tight polos and mirrored sunglasses like they'd stepped out of a bad action flick. I called them Captain Carl and Officer Ollie in my head. They stared back, expressionless. A week later, they were back, same spot, same smug vibe. I walked over, keeping it civil. Afternoon, fellas. This is Thorn Hollow land. Your property ends at that survey marker. I pointed to a concrete post in the grass. Captain Carl, with a sneer that seemed permanent, grunted, "We're aware. Just keeping an eye out. Community safety. Safety for whom? This is private land," I said, firmer. "We run cattle here. Your cart could spook them." Officer Ollie chimed in, "We're allowed. It's for observation." Allowed by who? I wanted to snap, but I held back. "Please stay on your side," I said. Carl scoffed. "We park where we need to for Crestview's security." He drove off, not apologetic, but like he was indulging a fool. A storm was brewing. I told Ezekiel that evening on the porch, where he was whittling with deliberate strokes. His gray eyes fixed on the horizon, he listened silently, then spat into the flower bed, a habit my mother despised. "Sounds like they need a lesson," he said, his jaw set. I knew that look. It was the same one he got before wrestling a stubborn tractor into submission. The HOA was his new challenge. The trespassing didn't stop, it escalated. The golf cart was joined by a white SUV, also branded Crestview Security, parked deeper on our land. Carl and Ollie made the oak their personal outpost, sometimes with binoculars, scribbling on clipboards. Were they spying on my cows? It felt like we were animals in their safari. I posted "No trespassing" signs, bright yellow, unmistakable. The next day, one was torn down, another smeared with a boot print. This wasn't a mistake, it was defiance. I started documenting photos, dates, times, building a case. I emailed the HOA president, Charles Wentworth, a polite but firm letter with photos, demanding his security stop trespassing. A week passed. His reply was a condescending masterpiece, claiming Crestview's patrols ensured tranquility against rural threats, my cattle, apparently. He suggested I better delineate my property, ignoring the fence and markers. No apology, just blame. I showed Ezekiel. He grinned, a dangerous glint in his eye. Better delineate? We'll give him a line they'll trip over. The breaking point came on a scorching July day. I was with my ranch hand, Diego, guiding a newborn calf and its nervous mother. Dust clung to our sweat as we worked. Then the Crestview SUV roared up, parking 50 feet away, kicking up a dust cloud. Carl and Ollie leaned against our fence, watching like we were their entertainment. The noise spooked the cow. She bolted, calf stumbling after, undoing our work. Rage surged. I stormed over. "What the hell are you doing?" Carl, unfazed, said, observing. "Standard patrol. You scared my livestock and cost me time. You're on my land." Ollie muttered about suspicious activity. I laughed bitterly. The only suspicious activity is you trespassing. Get off my property, or I'm calling the sheriff. Carl smirked, citing Wentworth's approval, but my mention of the sheriff made him pause. They sat in their SUV for 5 minutes, engine idling, before driving off. Diego shook his head. No respect, boss. He was right. Respect would have to be forced. That night, Ezekiel, cleaning his shotgun with a meditative focus, said, "Time to stop playing nice. They love that oak. We'll make it less cozy." Before dawn, he was in the barn, digging through old irrigation gear pipes, sprinklers, timers. "What's the plan?" I asked. He grinned. "A little hydroengineering. Targeted soil hydration." He held up a massive sprinkler head, built to drench fields. "Think they'll enjoy a morning mist?" Ezekiel's plan was a blend of genius and mischief. He insisted I keep documenting every trespass, timestamped, photographed. "Paper trails win wars," he said. While I played detective, he surveyed the fence line with a transit level, confirming our boundary to the inch. He found our fence sat slightly inside our true line, giving us extra leverage. We consulted our lawyer, Tom Hayes, who reviewed my evidence and smirked. "They're dead wrong. You could sue for trespassing, but practical solutions often work faster." He confirmed our right to manage our land, as long as it was legal. If they damage their vehicle on your property after warnings, that's their problem. Ezekiel's eyes sparkled. The plan targeted a 20 by 20-foot patch under the oak's shade, where Carl and Ollie always parked. Ezekiel tilled the soil lightly, making it look like a planting prep. We buried a water line from a stock tank pump, hiding 3 heavy-duty sprinkler heads in tall grass, aimed at the spot. These weren't gentle misters, they were built for power. A mechanical timer was set for late morning and afternoon, when the duo typically lounged. But Ezekiel went further. We sculpted a subtle depression to trap water, mixed in clay-rich compost for slickness, and buried rocks and roots where tires would hit, covering them thinly with dirt. It looked natural, but was a trap. In 2 days, under dust's cover, the suburban repellent was ready. Ezekiel surveyed it, hands on hips. Now we wait. A little rain wouldn't hurt. A summer shower obliged that night, priming the soil. At 10:30 a.m., the Crestview SUV rolled up, Carl driving, Ollie beside him. They parked precisely in the trap, tires sinking into the prepped ground. I watched from a distance, heart racing. Ezekiel, binoculars in hand, gave a nod. At 10:35, the sprinklers roared to life with a thump, unleashing torrents of muddy water. Jets slammed the SUV, splattering it with brown streaks. Inside, 2 figures flailed. Carl tried to reverse, but the tires spun, digging into the clay mire. The vehicle slid, stuck fast, as sprinklers pounded relentlessly. After 2 minutes, the timer stopped, leaving a mud-soaked wreck. Carl and Ollie stepped out, their polished shoes swallowed by muck. Carl's face was purple, yelling inaudibly. Ollie looked defeated, slipping as he circled the SUV. Ezekiel, beside me, stifled laughter. "Unexpected irrigation," he said, voice dripping with glee. 20 minutes later, a black Lincoln Navigator arrived. Charles Wentworth, in pristine golf attire, stormed to the fence. "What is this?" "Your sprinklers ruined my vehicle." "This is vandalism." Ezekiel stepped up. "I'm Ezekiel Thorne. This is my grandson, Caleb, owner of this ranch. Your vehicle's on our land." Despite warnings and letters, I added, "We're irrigating for erosion control. Your men parked in our seedbed." Wentworth's face reddened. "This is aggression. I'm calling the sheriff." "Do it," I said. "We've got months of trespassing evidence." Deputy Laura Sanchez arrived, listening to Wentworth's tirade. I showed her the boundary markers, my photos, and explained our agricultural work. Ezekiel added, "Just growing grass, officer. Didn't expect a truck in our seedbed." Sanchez inspected the site, then turned to Wentworth. "Your vehicle's on private land without permission. Their irrigation is their business. If it got stuck, that's your issue." She advised Carl and Ollie to respect boundaries, then left. Wentworth fumed, calling a tow truck. The extraction took 2 hours, a spectacle we watched with iced tea. The tow truck struggled, Wentworth shouting, Carl and Ollie caked in mud. A week later, Crestview's lawyer demanded we pay for cleaning and repairs, accusing us of malicious conditions. Tom Hayes countered, suing for trespassing and sign damage, attaching my evidence. He suggested they avoid accidental irrigation by staying off our land. They never responded. The sprinklers stayed active, running unpredictably. Carl and Ollie stopped parking near the oak, peering warily from their side. The muddy SUV incident became Crestview legend, undermining Wentworth's authority. Residents grumbled at HOA meetings, questioning the patrol's cost and antics. Ezekiel made the trap permanent, planting thorny rose bushes along the fence, backed by new, steel-mounted signs. The roses thrived, a beautiful, impassable barrier. Our oak shade was ours again, shared only with cattle. This wasn't just about parking, it was about respect. Wentworth's crew assumed we'd bow to their arrogance. They didn't count on Ezekiel's cunning or our resolve. The controversy split Crestview. Some saw us as heroes, others as vindictive. But we stood our ground, proving that sometimes a well-aimed sprinkler and a slick patch of mud can humble even the mightiest HOA tyrant. Thorn Hollow's peace was hard-won, a testament to grit, ingenuity, and a grandfather who knew the power of a perfectly placed trap.